Hello and welcome to the inaugural Coaches Show for Carolina Hockey, presented by Carolina Hockey Central. We're filming today from Benny Capella's on Franklin Street, home of the Virginia Slice. Come on in, grab a piece, see what you think. I'm here today with Coach Jeff Volkman. Coach, thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure, Trevor.
Absolutely. Well, this is going to be your third year in the program. Been here a few years now. Some things stay the same. What has changed this year from last year? New mentality, new players, anything like that?
Well, there's a lot changing off the ice, in addition to on the ice. We're building off the culture we started 2 years ago. Off the ice, we're developing a lot of things. The program we're developing here is very player-centric, so everything revolves around the players. We created a booster club. We've got Carolina Hockey Central, so we're getting a lot of media buzz, creating a lot of awareness. We have just a lot of tremendous people and resources, volunteering their time, working hard to build and create a program here that, players that will want to come and play. On the ice, things that happened over the offseason were great. We had a lot of holes to fill. We had a lot of returning veterans coming back from last year. We definitely lost some key players, but we had 6 new additions this year. And we're looking for those guys to compete for jobs. So we've only practiced twice this year so far. So there's going to be a lot of competition going forward, and a lot of positions are up for grab, which is exciting from a coaching standpoint.
Sure. Now, as far as positions or roles that need filling, is that mostly in the locker room as far as team leadership, on the ice? What spots really need to be filled up for Carolina hockey to have a successful campaign this season?
Well, the way I coach and my expectations, every spot's open. We do have leaders. I take an unorthodox approach when it comes to captains. I have 4 captains, but I look for leadership. I look to make sure that the new guys coming in all have voices. Everyone has a voice in the locker room. The expectation in the locker room is we want to make sure that we're bonding and we're creating good team chemistry in the locker room. And players are coming in that they really care about each other. So that's the top priority coming in. First we have to learn how to walk before we run, and the players know that. It's a clean slate with me every year. I don't care what you did last year. It's a new year. And we're implementing some exciting new systems. We're playing a speed, aggressive game this year. So, positions are up for grab, and that's the ideal situation you want as a coach.
Sure. Now, 2 years ago, the Tar Heels took gold in the ACCHL. Last year, they came up a bit short. Ended up taking home the bronze medal after falling to NC State, which obviously stings a little bit. However, able to pull it together against Virginia and come home with 3rd place. How does it feel to end the season on that note? After winning the year before, coming so close the year after, how does it feel to end the season that way?
Well, we lost a lot of talent. The year we won the gold, that's just a fact. Last year was somewhat of a rebuilding year. We had a great new talent come in. We had some transfers come in. We dealt with a lot of adversity last year. The year was a success in my book. We had 4 key players go down in injuries, so the team definitely had to deal with adversity, and they responded very well. Finishing 3rd is an accomplishment in my book, and the good news is we have a lot of those guys coming back this year. We've got a tremendous team. We have a more talented team overall, more depth coming into this year, so this year is very, very exciting.
Sure. Tell me a bit about those new faces. Who's going to be new on the Tar Heels this season?
Well, we have Alex Stevenson, who came in from Montreal. He's definitely a speed guy up front, very vocal in the locker room. He'll be a leader in the locker room and on the ice. Alexei Kumanov. We have Kevin Lee. He's actually a senior this year. He came out and played with us. A speedy guy, speedy forward. We've got Kyle Oliveira defensively, David Ports, and Chris Dalton in the back. So we've got 6 new guys coming in, 3 forwards, 3 defensemen, all fighting for positions. One thing I do as a coach is make sure that they get a voice and get in there and build their confidence and have them be positioned to fight for those positions and not be afraid.
Sure. Now, typically on a hockey club, 2 captains are selected. However, I've talked to you before, and your preference is naming 4. What is the philosophy, the mentality behind that? How does it help your team to have 4 guys stepping up into that leadership role on a yearly basis?
Well, it just kind of evolved that way. It wasn't planned that way at all. As a coach, the one thing you don't like to see is when you leave the locker room, there's nothing there. You want that extension. When I leave the locker room, I want the players to take over. All right, and I just saw certain players that were evolving into leadership roles, and I just found it appropriate to give them a title at that time. They all have different backgrounds, and they all bring something different to the table. One's really vocal. There's another that, kind of a silent giant approach. They all have different techniques and tactics, but they all speak to a different player, and that all gets covered. It's an approach that it may not take every year, but it's very fitting this year. Our captains demand respect in the locker room, and they get it, and it's definitely a part of the recipe for success.
Sure. Now, you mentioned injury troubles last season. That's something that you can't prevent. It's something you hate to see happen, but is kind of the product of sports. Other than that, not something that you couldn't handle, but something that you could. What was last season's largest challenge for the team, whether it be on the ice or off? How are you addressing that?
Well, I just thought, a good recipe for success. You want the team to work. You want the team to work hard. You want great work ethic. You want good chemistry. But at the end of the day, you want those lucky bounces. Everyone needs those, especially in the playoffs. But you need everyone to buy in. And that's what we're looking for this year, building off of last year. We're looking for that chemistry. We're doing a lot of off-ice things to kind of bring the team together and bond. If everyone buys into the systems and approach, I'm a systems guy, and we're going to run some exciting systems, but I really teach habits. I'm a habits guy. How to dress in the locker room, how to prepare, just repetition in those habits. On the ice, not admiring your pass, not going by the net, go hard, but just little things that we're gonna teach the guys to create good habits in practice that will transfer over into the game. It's a game of reaction. Systems don't always play out the way you want. So that's when habits are essential.
Sure. Now, Coach, last year the Tar Heels struggled a bit on the power play. How are you going to fix that situation going forward this season?
Yeah, so we obviously have some new guys coming in that are going to fill the roles. I coach, I teach a process. So we break down the systems, and we take that approach. So we've got a couple systems that we want in place. I have higher expectations this year on how we're going to execute those. But really, we've only had 2 practices under our belt right now. It's really too early to tell what type of system we're going to be running, what the comfort level with the players, what they're good at, how they gel. But I think with the new talent, we got some key players that I'm looking to kind of step up into the power play role right away, and PK for that matter. I see our success level should be much higher than last year. There's always challenges. Last year we had key injuries, and the key injuries were guys that were on the power play. That was a major factor to our deficiency there. But other guys did step up, and they did very well, and that's a part of dealing with adversity. We'll be defined with, we'll see when that first piece of adversity hits this year. We'll see what type of team we are. What we're doing as coaches is trying to develop them, and discipline is at the core of what we do. It's the bridge between goals and success. So we're really working hard to train their mind, their actions, how they condition their systems, and move forward. So when we deal with that adversity, whether it be, like you said, the power play or any other system, we can deal with that and overcome it.
Absolutely. We're not trying to expose any strategy for the NC State fans watching out there. We are bearing that in mind. Yeah. What is the biggest goal for this season? What's it going to take to get there?
Well, any team that wants to be champions, definitely we have to get in the playoffs. Sure. That's our first goal.
Fair enough.
There's 13 teams, and there's only 8 slots. So we play 9 league games this year. We have to come out with victories, and we have to get our seeding. Seeding is not that important to me. Wherever we seed first or 8th is irrelevant in my book. We definitely have expectations of winning the Admirals Cup this year, and we're looking beyond. We're looking to get our first ever regional berth. From there, I expect with this team to get through region to get to nationals this year.
Sure.
No question about it.
Absolutely. Is there any opponent or particular game that you're looking forward to this year? Any date that you have circled on the calendar, Coach?
I'm such a process guy. I don't look that far ahead. We're trying to take care of things in house right now. But I'd be remiss if I didn't. We're looking forward to playing Duke University. We're looking forward to playing NC State. Elon's becoming a big rival. Wake Forest is their program's elevating. They're all big games. It doesn't matter who we game. If I could pin one weekend, I'm going to pin Charlottesville at the end of the year, because what happens to the season, as long as we get into the playoffs, really is irrelevant. As long as we're working towards our goal, we become stronger, because we have to bring it together, that team, and the best team in the league will come out of there.
Sure. No, we're a long way from the season ending in the spring. We're rapidly approaching opening night versus High Point this coming Friday the 9th. What do you tell your players before they get on the ice? Hockey's a game of moments. How do they prepare before they take the ice?
It depends on the situation, obviously. I think early on we definitely keep things simple and very laser focused. What we had learned previously in terms of systems and what we're doing. Again, I mentioned habits. I key on those. I remind players, don't do anything you can't do.
Sure.
You're not expected to do. Don't do that. I try to take, we try to take a selfless approach. It comes back to, we all have to buy in. There are no individuals on this team, and we have to do things as a team. So it's a very simple approach. The message changes from game to game, obviously, depending on the game and the severity of the game and meaning of the game, the time of the year. But in general, that's how I come in at the beginning of the year.
Absolutely. What attribute, as a coach, as a fan of the game, as a former player yourself, what attribute or characteristic do you find to be most valuable in a hockey player, whether it be as a student athlete or strictly as an athlete on the ice?
I would say, just a positive attitude and work ethic.
Sure.
Those are the top two. And, of course, everyone on the team will tell you I'm always preaching respect. That starts in the locker room, respect for, our staff, the guy next to you. We have phenomenal trainers, the media, our fans. I look for a well-rounded player.
Sure.
But positive attitude is key. There's things that happen on a team, negative things. You can't get around that. But we don't dwell on it. We deal with it. We nip it in the butt really fast, and we let it go.
Sure.
Very positive. Whether it's coming from me or another player, it always ends on a positive note.
Sure.
Very important to me.
Well, fair enough. Speaking of positive notes, I have one last question for you, Coach. There's 30 seconds left in the game. Championship is on the line. You're on the offensive zone. The goalie's pulled. Who's getting the puck, and what's the play?
Well, I probably won't disclose the play.
Sure, fair enough.
But right now, I'm not the type of guy to call players, because I firmly believe, I take it to heart that we're a team.
Sure.
And I think you'll see who will step up. I will see who steps up. But it's we've got a 22-man roster, so all those guys have an opportunity to step up. And I'm just basing the facts off of what I saw last year, and we are not an individual team. We do things as a team. So no matter who buries the puck at the end of the game, and that would be fun in that situation you described. It's definitely a team effort.
Sure.
So that's important.
Excellent. Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. This has been the first show, the Coaches Show for Carolina Hockey Central. We are taping again from Benny Capella's on Franklin Street. Be sure to tune in a week from today on Friday the 9th at 10:15 versus High Point University as Carolina Hockey opens up the season. And hopefully it's the beginning of a campaign for the Admirals Cup. Thank you again, Coach.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.